This is Sports Drive.
Welcome back into Sports Drive once again, Preston Moore. And I am now joined in the studio by Mr. Mike Roden of TPSN, Texas Panhandle Sports Network. Mike, how you doing?
Doing well. Getting ready for a big night of basketball.
I know normally we talked a little bit yesterday in the office. You're used to coming in every Monday. Riley didn't have you on yesterday.
I know it. She said she would and then didn't. So.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Riley Robinson.
I was hurt.
If you're watching, Mike Roden's feelings are hurt. But it's all right. We got you on today.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit of basketball. You guys are broadcasting some basketball games coming up.
Absolutely. We've started our coverage this year. It's a little slow and hit and miss in December, but district play has already begun for our 4A teams from the Canyon Independent School District. So hard to believe they've got a big district, though. It's 8 teams, so they had to start early. And then, of course, the Amarillo ISD schools will be all in the same district, and they'll have Plainview alongside as well. So only a 5-team district there. They don't start till, I think, maybe the girls start January 6th. So they've still got some time to prepare. But we've got some big matchups in December, and one we have tonight is a non-district matchup, but still ought to be a dandy between Randall boys and Palo Duro, former district foes, but now since Randall has been reclassified to 4A, no longer in the same district. But they played just a couple of weeks ago down in a tournament in Lubbock in the semifinals of that tournament in Lubbock, or I guess it was Friendship actually, and had a great ball game. Randall or PD jumped out early on the Raiders and built up like a 16-point lead in that game and looked like they were going to run away with it. Well, Randall had other ideas. They came storming back, tied up the game, managed to get it tied up, and then PD ended up winning on a last-second shot, so ended up winning by 2. So talking with Coach Broadhurst earlier today, he said, yeah, I hope we can keep it close again. He said, we didn't do too well starting last time, but it should be a fun game. These two teams are both really good. Both have winning records. PD is 8-4, I think, on the season. Randall's 9-5 so far. And should be a really fun one. Some big-time players on the court in that one tonight. We'll have live stream coverage on TPSNsports.com and also on our mobile app as well.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I mean, I always think it's cool that we can have that kind of stuff here in the Panhandle. TPSN, obviously. Really cool to have, especially for some of those kids who, their games get to be live streamed to anybody who wants to watch anywhere.
Exactly.
It's a pretty special thing.
Yeah, if you've got family, living somewhere else that can't always travel, it's great for that. It's also just great for people who can't go to every game. I mean, we all, probably if you're a sports fan and you want to go to every game, but sometimes, things like work get in the way and or other commitments. And so, it's great for us to be able to do that. We provide video streams on many of our games, those for Amarillo ISD anyway, in their facilities. We don't own the rights to the Canyon ISD gymnasiums. That's owned by NFHS Network. But we do audio streams for those games as well. So we're still covering the CISD teams. It's just not with the video streams. But we don't want to miss any of that action as well. And then later in January, we'll be joined by our radio partner, 102.9, the Panhandle Sports Star. We'll be broadcasting some of our games as well. So we'll have plenty of ways for people to listen and watch.
Yeah, lots of good stuff going on with TPSN. Tonight, that Randall-Palo Duro game, probably, I would imagine Randall's coming in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. It's probably a game that they regret losing in that last one, especially after storming a comeback and not being able to pull it out. So that'll be a good game. But tell us about some of the other games you have coming up. I know you have a couple audio streams Friday and then next week as well before Christmas break hits.
Yeah, exactly. We've got going to be featuring the CISD teams next week. We've got Canyon at West Plains, and it'll be a doubleheader, girls and boys. And we'll be audio streaming both of those games. And then the following week, that'll be on Friday, December the 16th. This Friday, and then next Tuesday, December 20th, it'll be Randall playing at West Plains.
Gotcha.
And that's obviously an interesting matchup with a lot of the Randall kids going over to West Plains as that school opened up. And so natural rivalry, and so that'll be a fun doubleheader as well. So good action coming up next week featuring CISD teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And then come January, I know we're going to look a little bit ahead of the time, but you guys have a slew of games once January hits. All the district play begins. Are you excited for those? I'm looking at the schedule right now. It looks like all of the January games that you guys broadcast will be on video, and most of them with audio as well.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have a bunch of games. Usually, we're trying to do every Tuesday and Friday. That's when the teams play the schedule as they play those district games on Tuesdays and Fridays, and so. I can't stand it when they're playing and we're not able to, or we're not covering it. So, so we try to be there every Tuesday and Friday somewhere. We pick out usually the best matchups, even though we try to cover all the teams. So we'll have mix and match, but there'll be good matchups for sure. I remember back the last couple of years since we started this, and we have had some tremendous games to cover, and expect exactly the same this year between all of our teams. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but it will be busy in January for sure. And then of course you get into the early part of February and the playoffs hit, and then we'll be starting coverage of playoff games as well. We try our best to cover every one of those. They're on the road, and when we go on the road, it's normally an audio only stream, but fans can still follow the games when they go to the playoffs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Big couple months coming up for TPSN. We'll be right back. I'm going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with Mike Roden after the break to wrap up more Sports Drive, talk a little bit more TPSN stuff as well, so stick around.